Today we're going to do a little bit of a news roundup going over some bits and pieces that you might want to be aware of, including the first bit of information that we've ever had about the in-game currency system. Apparently we've got a time for when the early access starts for Anthem, which might give us a clue on when the demos and the launch of the game may be, and also a few more details on the demo itself, some of which I wasn't really happy to hear about. My name is Ryan Central, and if you want to keep up to date with Anthem going into launch, then do subscribe to the channel. We have news, more content coming out of Stockholm, with never before seen gameplay, and other bits and pieces that I'm sure you'll love and enjoy. Before we get started, it's worth adding that there is going to be another Anthem livestream. It's going to be on the 17th of January at 3 PM Central Time, and it will be going over stuff like weapons and other bits and pieces that they may have not gone over yet. You can check out the stream at twitch.tv/Anthem Game, and I also wanted to say 2 weeks until the VIP demo. It's getting very close now. I saw the other day on the subreddit that the date that the early access starts on was moved from the 15th to the 14th of February. Onto Valentine's Day. Now this might have to do with time zones, starting midnight on the 15th for EU for example, but starting midday for Americans. That's how time works, but it reminded me to get Premier Access for myself so I could get access to the demos and the early access when it comes out. But during that time, I also saw that it gave me specific times to when the release date of early access is going to go live, and including the preload date and time. This is what I said on the original post from Reddit. As you can see, it doesn't provide times, just the 13th and 14th. But then going over mine, you can see that it has the time of 6 PM GMT for the preload date on Feb the 13th, and then the actual release being at 10:30 PM GMT on Valentine's Day. Quickly looking over the Reddit, I can see that other people have had different areas. For example, those in Eastern time zones, it says 5:30 PM because we are 5 hours ahead of them. So I put the times on screen to when the early access will go live, and as I said, this might give us a clue to when Anthem will push its servers live for the VIP demo on the Friday, or maybe even the Thursday. It might be a little bit earlier, the free demo, and maybe even the official launch. Of course, we don't know that yet, that's just me speculating, but we do have times for when, roughly, early access is going to start. Speaking of the demo, there were a couple of articles that came out talking about exactly what to expect in it. We've known roughly what there is to expect: a stronghold, a couple of missions from level 10 to level 15, but going off this Game at Work article, and also various ones such as MMORPG and VG 24/7, we got a couple more details. So we know the dates, the 25th to the 27th for the VIP demo, free demo 1st to 3rd, that's all well and good, but if you go down to the bottom, it says explore Fort Tarsis social hub, so you get full access to Fort Tarsis, many open world missions, one stronghold mission, and levels 10 to 15. But the most important thing that I wanted to highlight is 2 Javelin Suits. I think a lot of people would like to believe that you'll have access to all of the suits during the demo, so you can try out which heroes you like. But it seems that it might be the case that the game is going to be playing very symmetrical in that case. Of course, we know that you unlock Javelins at level 2 and level 8, so by the time that you're level 10, you should have 2 suits unlocked. The question is, what suits? A lot of people are thinking that you start with a Ranger and then you get the choice of another one, but it might be the case that you get a choice of both suits that you want to try and run. But my point being, say for example you choose the Ranger and the Colossus, you will not be able to play the Storm or the Interceptor during the demo, because you can only unlock 2 out of the 4, which to me is a pretty big concern. I want to be able to play all of the Javelins during the demo. I don't know specifically how the demo plans to do it. You might log in and goes, alright, pick 2 Javelins and you're running with them, but I honestly would prefer it if I had access to all of the Javelins, not only to try them out myself, but if people want to try the free demo, they want to have access to all of the different suits, try them out, see what they like, see what they don't like, all that kind of stuff. So this is kind of concerning. I'll be sure to tweet the devs to see what they think and get back to you on that one. One of the main things I want to go over in this video are the system requirements for Anthem, both minimum specs and also recommended. Going over the minimum specifications first, you can see that it's fairly lenient with how it's approaching both the CPU and GPU mostly. Everything else seems to be fairly straightforward, but this will give you an idea on the minimum system requirements to run Anthem. When it comes to recommended, you can take a look at all of this stuff here: GTX 1060, i7 4790, quite high-end bits of gear, but not massively high either. It's also worth adding that there was a trailer recently from Nvidia talking about how there's going to be DLSS technology added to Anthem, meaning that the game will look even better on PC. But those are the system requirements. In all honesty, you should be okay in any case. Granted, you might not be able to run it on Ultra, but it still looks fairly optimized. In terms of questions on Twitter, there isn't an awful lot to go over. Ben Irving says that you can't change the colour of your visor. I know a lot of people were asking about that. However, there was a potential hint on social hubs. Sonny tweeted Mike Gamble saying that a lot of players are concerned about Fort Tarsis not being a social area. Players like seeing other players. Take The Division, Destiny and Warframe for example. Social hubs that allow us to see each other. Socially connected games have longevity. Mike Gamble said, "We hear you loud and clear, sunglasses." So far I think Mike Gamble's been using the sunglasses as a winky face and seems to be suggesting that something might be on the way. That might just be me clutching at the straws, but I did think it was worth bringing up. But do let me know what you think of that. Now I want to talk about the in-game currency question. For those that don't know, there's not going to be any loot boxes or paid DLC within Anthem. You also can't buy certain legendary abilities, you can't pay for power, so any money that BioWare make in-game is going to be down to buying cosmetics, all of which you can earn in-game anyway. Well, we got a couple more details on that. Mike Gamble tweeted, "Oh, before I forget, the progression XP curves as well as general in-game economy balance will be a little bit easier in a demo. We want you to earn some stuff and feel what it's like. We'll also give you 100 coins to blow on some fancy cosmetics." He goes on to say that all the cosmetics cost 55 coin in the demo. Trust me, that's hella not the case in the real game. He was then asked on Twitter, "Are coins a premium currency or just one of the general in-game currencies?" Mike Gamble says it's in-game and the demo has no premium currency, which makes sense. There's no point paying actual money to get the cosmetics when you're not going to keep them. So we know that there is a coin system in-game. We don't really know how much all of the cosmetics are going to cost after launch. Maybe it goes up to 50 or 75 or even 100. But with any luck, it doesn't take too long to earn this stuff in game in any case. But you will have 100 coins that you can spend on various bits of cosmetics. This could be armors, certain vinyls potentially, but it also might even be emotes, victory poses, those kind of little bits and pieces that you can earn. But as I said, everything that you would spend real life money on in the game after launch would be stuff that you can earn in game eventually. And that seems to be the only microtransactions available within Anthem, which I'm personally okay with. The last of the tweets I wanted to highlight doesn't actually answer a question, but it's something that Mike Gamble said. "Had a few people ask me about why we're doing an open demo. This is why. Your money is hard earned. Games are an investment. We think it's fair you get to try before you buy. The entire campaign has been one of transparency, and we think Anthem is cool to watch but awesome to play." This tends to be the general thing coming through with the demo, is that BioWare want as many people to play it as possible. They want to show that the game speaks for itself, and from my own personal experience playing the game, I think they've done a very good job. I like playing Anthem, but I really like the BioWare devs, Mike Gamble, Ben Irving, especially with how transparent and open they are to talk to the community and answer questions. Lastly, I wanted to go over the IGN stuff. They've been putting out a lot of content on the game as they've been covering Anthem as their IGN first. It basically means that they get exclusive footage on the game, and they've done so by showing off the same mission that I did, Lost Arcanist, last Friday, but also profiles on the Storm and Interceptor Javelins. Today they put out some gameplay of open world stuff, including a couple of boss battles with a Titan and also this Ursix. As I said, I just want to take a clip from this so you get a good idea of what it is, but you can check out the full gameplay in the description below. It's worth watching, it's pretty cool. I don't want to take too much from the Storm gameplay, but I wanted to highlight really quickly two of the builds that were shown in there. The first of which is a primer build, looking at the Frost Shard ability, being able to set it up by freezing targets, then following it up with either a lightning strike or a melee ability, both of which detonate the primer effect, causing a combo. We'll go over all of that in another video. So that first build is basically to show the interactions between freezing the target, which a Storm is mostly known for, and then being able to follow through with a lightning strike or a melee, setting them up to knock them down, basically. The second one kinda drops the whole primer detonating factor of the game and changes it for a damage from distance kind of build. What I mean by that is it effectively works by putting up your support slot, which is a wind wall, to protect you, and then from that safety, you spam two fire abilities that are both high in damage at the enemy team from a distance. The first ability is Burning Orb, which as you can see, you can use it in a section where you can fire it in small pieces, but you can also charge it up to make it a much stronger shot. And then you have Flame Burst, which gives you 5 charges of little AoE explosions that you can use to attack enemies. So you have a big Fire Blast, and then you have an AoE dome of fire that you can put down, both of which you can use in small doses, or use it all to burst down one target in particular. But the main thing is that you have the wind wall to protect yourself from, so you can just sort of sit back there, throw these big fireballs from a distance. I would love for you guys to be able to name this build. I don't really have a good name for something that fires fire from a distance. So yeah, I'm interested to hear what you guys think. And now quickly to go over one of the Interceptor builds that I really wanted to highlight. Similarly to the Storm build with the primer detonating factors, you have that on the Interceptor too. You have the Cryoglaive that freezes the target when you hit them, and then also a Tempest Strike, which is kind of like just a roundhouse kick that you could use to detonate a target. It also shows off some really cool abilities such as Acid Spray, Cluster Mines, which I got to use when I played the Interceptor, which you should see soon enough. And it gives you some pretty awesome information on the Interceptor, which I can personally attest to it being awesome to play. But as I said, you can check out all of the RGN gameplay in the description below. But let me know what you think of all of this news, some builds to go over, some new merch, some new bits and pieces of news that I really wanted to highlight. There will be more gameplay coming from Stockholm soon, and I will be doing a video answering some of your questions about the playtest, so if you do have any more questions, put them in the comments below. And then we have some other videos going out over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be a pretty busy week. Thanks for watching, see you guys soon, take care.